the familiar little station, I felt something heavy in my chest. A message from my younger sister had changed everything. Just 5 words. Dad is in the hospital. I froze when I read it. My father, the man who had once been my hero and later the reason I left home, was now fighting for his life. I didn't reply, I didn't know what to say. But I packed my bags and got on the next train home. The town hadn't changed much, the same dusty roads, the same old bakery on the corner. But when I saw our house from the distance, something felt wrong. The lights were dim, the gate was half broken. It looked like time had stopped there, and maybe in a way it had. When I walked through the front door, my mother stood frozen in the hallway. For a moment she didn't say a word, then she whispered, "You came back." Her voice trembled. Mine did too when I answered, "Where is he?" The smell of antiseptic hit me the moment I entered his hospital room. Machines beeped steadily beside the bed. My father lay there, pale, thin, almost unrecognizable. I stood there quietly, not sure if he'd even know I was there. My mother placed a hand on my shoulder. "He's been asking for you," she said softly. That single sentence shattered the wall I'd built around my heart. As I sat beside him, I remembered everything: the shouting the night I left, the betrayal that tore us apart. He opened his eyes weakly and looked at me. "Mark," he whispered. "It's me, Dad," I said. A tear rolled down his cheek. "I'm sorry." Those 2 words hit harder than I expected. But I didn't respond, I couldn't, not yet. Because deep down, I knew there were still too many unanswered questions. Why had my mother gone silent for years? Why had my siblings cut me off completely? And why, even now, did I feel like they were hiding something? That night I stayed in my old room, or what was left of it. The walls were empty, the desk dusty. It was as if my existence had been erased. At dinner, Mom avoided eye contact. My brother Daniel barely said a word. And my sister Emma, the one who'd texted me, looked nervous. I tried to break the silence. "So what really happened to Dad?" Mom hesitated. "He collapsed at work. The doctors said it was his heart." But there was something in her tone, something off. And Daniel's hands were trembling as he cut his food. I knew that look. They were hiding something. Later that night, I overheard voices in the kitchen. Daniel's voice, low and angry. "He doesn't need to know, not now." Mom whispered sharply, "If he finds out, everything will fall apart." My heart raced. Find out what? The next morning, while everyone was at the hospital, I searched through my father's old study. It hadn't changed much: books, files, and the faint smell of his cologne. Then I found a drawer locked. I remembered Dad always kept the spare key in his old watch box. When I opened it, there it was, a letter addressed to me. My name in his handwritings. Hands shaking, I opened it. "Mark, if you are reading this, it means I didn't get the chance to tell you the truth. You left because you thought I betrayed you, but it wasn't me. The company, the money, everything that disappeared, it was Daniel. I took the blame to protect him. Your mother begged me to. I thought I was doing the right thing. But losing you was the biggest mistake of my life." I dropped the letter. My mind went blank. All these years, I'd hated my father, believed he had destroyed our family, stolen my trust, ruined my future. But it was my brother. And my parents had covered it up. When I got back to the hospital, I found Mom sitting by Dad's side. Her eyes widened when she saw the letter in my hand. "You knew," I said, my voice shaking. She looked down. "Mark, please, we did it for the family." "For the family?" I almost laughed. "You let me walk away believing he betrayed me." Tears streamed down her face. "We thought you'd never forgive him. You were so angry. Daniel was just a kid. He made one mistake." "One mistake?" I snapped. "He stole everything I worked for, my future, my trust, my father's name." Dad stirred in his sleep. His weak voice broke through the tension. "I told you he'd find out someday." Mom stood frozen. I couldn't bear to look at her. I walked out of that room, letter still in hand, my heart pounding like it would burst. Daniel had to face me. I found him later that night at the old family warehouse, the same place where we'd once worked together. He looked startled when he saw me. "So you know," he said quietly. "Yeah, I know everything's." He tried to speak, but I cut him off. "Do you have any idea what you did to me, to Dad?" He sighed. "I was desperate, Mark. I was young, stupid. I took that money because I thought I could fix it before anyone noticed. But when it all collapsed, Dad said he'd take the blame. And you let him, I said bitterly. He looked down, he told me to. No, I said, you let him destroy himself to save you. For a moment he looked ashamed, then his expression hardened. You don't get it, you left, you ran away, you gave up on all of us. His words stung because part of me knew there was truth in them. But that didn't excuse what he did. I took a deep breath. You're going to make this right publicly. He looked up, startled. I'm going to expose everything you did, every lie, every cover-up, unless you tell Mom and the doctors the truth yourself. Daniel's face went pale. The next morning, I gathered everyone in Dad's hospital room. Mom, Daniel, Emma's. Dad was awake now, weak but alert. I want this family to finally hear the truth, I said. Daniel tried to speak, but I handed him the letter. Read it, I demanded. He hesitated, then began to read aloud, his voice breaking with every line. When he finished, the room was silent except for the steady beep of the monitor. Dad looked at him, eyes full of pain. You could have told him, son. Daniel broke down. I'm sorry, Dad, I was scared, I didn't know how to fix it. Mom was sobbing quietly. And me, I just stood there exhausted. The truth was finally out. The lies, the years of silence exposed. I didn't feel victorious, I just felt free. A week later, Dad passed away peacefully. He'd forgiven Daniel, even smiled before he went, said he was proud the family had finally faced the truth. After the funeral, I packed my things again. Mom tried to stop me. Please stay, Mark, we can start over. I shook my head, maybe someday, but right now I need peace. She nodded, understanding. As I drove away from the town again, I felt lighter. For the first time in years, I wasn't running from my past, I was letting it go. People say time heals all wounds. But I've learned that's not true. Truth does. For years, I thought revenge meant making them suffer like I did. But standing there watching my brother confess, I realized the real revenge was the truth itself. It broke their lies apart and set me free. If you're carrying anger, if someone's betrayed you, don't let it rot inside. The truth has a way of surfacing, no matter how deep it's buried. And when it does, it won't destroy you. It will heal you.